Welcome. Today I will talk about automating segmentation workflows with webKnossos. Hi, I'm Norman. I'm the co-founder of Scalable Minds. We build tools for the bioimage community. The first one is webKnossos, which is an open source tool for visualizing, sharing, and annotating very large three-dimensional image data sets. The other one is Voxlytics, which is an automated reconstruction toolbox based on AI for stitching, alignment, and segmentation, with a focus on neuron reconstruction, synapse detection, and finding organelles. Today I will talk about webKnossos. So let's start with a brief overview of what webKnossos can do. First of all, webKnossos is a visualization tool for very large 3D image data sets. So the image data sets are stored on a server, and only the parts that are shown on screen are streamed to the browser. That makes working with even the largest data sets efficient and fast. So let's look at an example. Here I have a 3D EM dataset from mouse cortex. We can move around, we can zoom in to appreciate the details of all of the neurons in this dataset. Now let's turn on the segmentation. This is an instant segmentation of the neurons that has been created by Voxlytics. And webKnossos also has a mesh visualization feature. So here we can turn on the mesh of this segment so that we get a better understanding of how it looks like in 3D space. So back to slides. webKnossos is not only a visualization tool, but it's also an annotation tool. Here you can see me drawing a volume annotation, and you can do that from within the browser, from wherever you are in the world. And we recently also added interpolation features so that you can skip a few sections and it will be interpolated in between, and that will make annotating 3D datasets much faster. webKnossos also has support for skeleton annotations. Skeletons are line segment graphs that are great for representing and approximating neurons and other tube-like features. webKnossos also has a flight mode where data is projected onto a sphere, which makes navigating around very easy and makes it very fast to trace tube-like shapes such as axons and dendrites. webKnossos is very versatile in what kind of data it can visualize. Here we can see a prediction map that is overlaid on the raw EM data, and we're using the histogram sliders to find a good threshold for segmentation. webKnossos also has support for instant segmentations, and here we're selecting a mapping, an ID mapping, that has been created by a heuristic, and we can switch between different mappings to figure out which one works best for our data. webKnossos is also great for fixing segmentations. Here you can see the merger mode that is used to fix an oversegmentation. Once you're happy with your segmentation, you can use the mesh features to visualize the segments in 3D, and you can export these meshes and import them into your favorite rendering tool. Because webKnossos is a web-based tool, everything has a link. That makes it very easy to share these links with your colleagues, and they will be able to see the same annotation at the same location so that you will be able to collaborate effectively. webKnossos also supports collaborations of large projects with a few management features. So for example, it has a task management feature where you can create tasks that are jobs of an annotation work that you can distribute among multiple annotators. And you can then group these tasks into projects, which makes it easy to track their progress and also download all of the results once they are done. Last but not least, we're working on Zarr support, which is coming in the next couple of weeks. And please check out our Twitter channel for updates on that. So next, I want to talk about workflow automation with our new Python library. You can get the Python library with pip install webKnossos. You can browse the source code on GitHub, and you can read the documentation at docs.webknossos.org. There you will find a bunch of examples, and you will also find an API reference with every method and every class in the package. Now let's look at an example use case of what you can do with the Python library. So here we have a data set in webKnossos, and we've already created a volume annotation. So we've created 4 classes inside this bounding box, and we want to use this bounding box for training a segmenter to then run it on the full data set. So we have this Python script where we first import the webKnossos package, then we download the annotation and the dataset that contains the raw images. We extract the training bounding box from the annotation. We prepare our training data, so we're also going to extract the training data box from the raw data. And we're going to feed all of that into our segmenter. This is of course a bit simplified, but here you would plug in your favorite machine learning or deep learning toolbox. Now with this segmenter, we're going to run it on the full data set. So we're first going to read the full data set. Then we're going to run the prediction, which gives us a segmentation. We're going to store this segmentation as a new layer in our data set. And then we're going to upload the data set again, which gives us a URL. And when clicking on this URL, we're back in webKnossos where we can see the full segmentation. And now we can share this with our colleagues, or we can also use the annotation features to do some touch-ups. So here would be something that we want to fix here as well, and these probably as well. And after doing these touch-ups, we can then download the data, or we can share them again, or use it in any kind of way that you want. So this was just a short example of what you can do. We're going to have more examples in the workshop on Tuesday, where we're going to talk about how to create many tasks from a Python notebook, how to run an analysis on a volume annotation that you've created in webKnossos. And we're also going to talk about data conversion for how to convert data from webKnossos for another tool and vice versa. Next, I want to talk about automated segmentation features that we're adding to webKnossos. The first is a nuclei segmentation that is already available. So for datasets in webKnossos, you can click on process dataset and start a nuclei inferral. And in the background, it will run a pre-trained model on our servers. And after a few minutes, depending on dataset size, you will get a segmentation that looks like this. And this segmentation you can use for them for seeding manual annotations, or you can download them or share them as is. We're looking to add more segmentation models over the course of the next months. So if you have anything that you would like us to add, please let me know. And with that, I would like to thank you for your attention. Please make sure to try out webKnossos on webknossos.org, follow us for updates on Twitter, and join the workshop on Tuesday to learn more about the Python library and use cases. Thanks.